How you going, everyone? In this episode of Cue Ball Garage, we start getting into the rust in the doors, and we have a look at the hinges, we make a bracket, and we paint some stuff. Come and join me and I'll show you how we do it. Just wanted to bring you in and show you what I've been doing. So as you would have seen, taken all this apart, drilled holes first of all to put these brackets, then realised that any bolt I had through there other than a recessed bolt or a countersunk bolt would hit the inside of the cooler. Then I decided to weld it. So I put these brackets on. So the plan is to put this bit of strap across the top, and then a little fan will sit on top. Sorry, just trying to watch what I'm doing here, but you get the idea of what's going on there. So that'll be in the centre, and then little holes here for the fan. So they might be a little bit long, these ones, but I can trim them, even after I've already spent the time of rounding off the edge. So I'll just mark the other side. Anyway, that's what I've been doing. I just wanted to bring in and show you. So the other coolers with the fans on, they've got a gap in between the actual body of the cooler, or the fins there. So look, it's going to be better than nothing, and I think it's going to be just right. The only other fans I've got are quite large, so they'll monster the thing. This is what I've come up with at the moment, and I'm sure we'll find out how it goes once it's in the car, but I can't really see any issue with it. So I'll get all this done, I'll paint everything up and then put it all back together once and for all. and I'll paint the rest of the structure as well. But I'll put it on time lapse when I do everything, so it's not boring for you, just like my last video. I should have fast forwarded some of that, but I was in a rush. Anyway, this is what I've been up to. So I'll just give you a look at what I've been doing for the last couple of hours, and like I say it myself, you've been down here for a couple of hours and this is what you've achieved. Wow, great result. But this is the reality, this is how long it takes. So you weld a couple of brackets on, drill holes, radius corners, use nylock nuts to bolt everything on, make sure you've got clearance up underneath. So this is just how it works. If you want to do it yourself, this is one way you can do it. My way isn't the only way, but this is just what I've come up with using what I've got, and so this is how it's going to be. So have a look at the chunk. See the chunk taken out of this. I actually had a cooler in this fan up under the guard of the Impala, and I just didn't allow for suspension movement when you're at full lock, and it ripped the arse out of it. So you need to learn from my mistakes, because there's plenty of them. Alright, so once this is out of paint up, and all the rest of the cooler brackets and the main structure and everything's all painted up, this can all go back in and wire everything up once we get to that stage. But I just thought I'd show you, this is what I've been mucking around with today. entertaining cats and dogs today, so got the fire going. So the shed's pretty nice. It's what you need to do when you get old. You're getting a bit soft in your old age. So I've taken the front end off the 1 tonner, as you can see. I've got the door sitting up there, bonnet, got the guards off. You saw the front end a minute ago. So I'm just trying to get rid of a couple of rust issues, and so I've got the radiator support panel. I'm going to cut that out, try and fix that up. And then on the back side of it, if we can see it, so we just have a look down there. So see that little tab that's been welded in? So that is for, so the front apron bolts up under there. So more or less that's supposed to mimic that one on the other side. So once it's bolted on, I can mark that. I should have marked it before I pulled it off, but anyway, everything's good in hindsight. So I'll try and cut that out, see how bad that is. We'll clean it up first, and then gonna have a look at the doors. So we kind of saw this one, I sandblasted, so you got a dent there, might be able to pull that out. Might do a strip, so all the way along the bottom of the door, it's all pitted. We've got that piece there. So I'll go up, I'll find some good steel. So I might go up to here somewhere. I'm not going to unpick the side of the skin. I'll cut this side of the line. I'll mark it with a ruler. Do it on a 90 so I've got a nice straight edge. And I'll make a whole piece. We'll have a look in behind it and have a look. But first of all, before I do that, now that we've got everything off, the best way to line all your bodywork up, or your panels, hanging panels, is to set your door up first and get your door gap right to the back of the cab, so make sure it's all right here. Now these hinges have had a pin and bush kit put through them, so they should have no movement. So the bottom one, oh hang on a minute, no, the bottom one's got a fair bit of movement, so I'm not even going to bother yet. What I'll do is I'll order a kit. Yeah, look at that, that's fucking bullshit. Yep. Alright, that's the next parts I'm going to order. And I'll start cutting out that rust. So the inner side of the door, pretty bad. I'm going to have to try and do a cut. Might as well go up across here. But first of all, I'm just getting that part of the skin off. So as you can see, it's a pretty messy job. So you just got to see it's all loose there. So you just got to find the plug welds or the spot welds. So what I do, I've got a little tool. So just use your little pilot drill bit. And then I've got this one here. So this little pointer in here is it's like sprung. And then you can see that little, it's like a rose cutter. Got little teeth there, and I've got a whole kit of those. So once you find your centre, so you can see what I've done here. So you just find the centre with a little drill bit, and this goes along like a cookie cutter, just takes them out. And because it's rusty, it's very hard to see where the centre of each spot weld is. So on a good panel, so just say you got rust in the bottom of the door, but this edge is all good. When you hit it with the flapper disc or sand it back, you'll be able to see the centre of those spot welds, and it's easy. So I can look here thinking, oh, that might be one, that might be one. It's probably just rust. But there's one right here, it's stuck. So I'm just going to have to sort that out. So if you have a look to see, wonder what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. And I'll just bend that away with the pliers, and when I make that little piece, I'll add enough to be able to fold the skin over, and then give myself a little bit more in case I need a bit on the bottom of the door. But anyway, that's what I'm doing, just thought I'd show you. That just goes to show how bad it is in there. So imagine if you patch it up with a bit of body filler just like everyone else has done, not going to last long. You're going to have bubbles and that coming back. So I guess the most important thing is when you do your cut, so you can see that line, it's not bad. I'll try and straighten that up. And this is going to be the piece that we're going to make up. So I might as well leave that there just as a bit of a reference, and I'll cut it off at the end. But I'll give myself some more room, and then obviously when you make the panel, you're going to allow for this piece to be folded over, and then give yourself some more room as well. So if you need to, you can fold it over and give yourself another couple of mil down the bottom. Anyway, that's where we're looking so far. I just wanted to show you guys a couple of goodies that have turned up this week. So I've got the side plate cover for the shifter. It's got two holes in there for the momentary buttons. So one will be for the line lock and one will be for the two-step. That just goes on the side of the shifter. So I'll go on the driver's side on this side. So I just want to show that. RCE Performance in Queensland. Got some good gear up there. Now, nothing that I buy is given away, or I'm not sponsored by anyone or anything like that. So I buy it all myself. So I'm just a one-man band. I work full time and try and do all this in my spare time, as well as pay a mortgage and all the rest of it. So if things seem to take a bit longer than you'd like, because I know when I watch YouTube, I like to see everything finished and see, righto, how's it going to end? But this is real life. It just takes time, and you only got your spare time. The other thing to turn up, I'll just bring you around so you can have a look. So if you can read that, these are the guys I got these dash bezels from. So they give you a couple of spare screws. So it says here, make sure you purchase the rare spare clear lens covers to suit, the flexi drive housing, and they've got the small tabs down the bottom. So basically what it is a HQ, or all HQs, as you know, have got their own specific type of gauges, so nothing else is going to fit. And if you want to keep it HQ, you don't want to go to a HZ or whatever type of dash. So they 3D print these little housings, so you can actually put this in the gauge. So it mounts up like any HQ would. Comes with a little pre-wired indicator globe in there. So it's got, I don't know if you can see that in there. It's got the little triangle in there. Yeah, so basically they go in exactly where they would have, and you can put a round gauge in the back, and then you can buy the rare spare clear lenses and fits in the same spot. So like an idiot, I just bought the two larger ones and the one in the middle. I should have bought the GDS kit, which does all the gauges, but they've sent me an offer, and basically I get free postage, get it a bit cheaper, so I'll buy the GDS one as well. But yes, that's just, I'll tell you what, they're pretty good quality. So this is an idea if you're thinking of it, and then I'm not sure of the exact size, but anyway, you can find out whatever gauge you want to use. You can use Autometer or any other kind of brand gauge that's going to fit. Give you that retro style. Now, I have looked at other HQ gauges, and a lot of the ads will say gauges not tested, not sure if they work. So, for example, if you're going to buy a GDS setup, you're not going to spend $1,800, $2,000 on gauges that you don't actually know if they're even going to work. So, anyway, that's an idea. Yeah, check them out. Give the guys a run. Good quality product. Righto, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.